Oh, Marvel Avengers. Yeah, let's just say we got some stuff to talk about this game, shall we? But before we do that, if you enjoyed that video, make sure you do the like, favorite, subscribe, hit some bells, you know what to do. And Marvel Avenger is officially out and about in open beta for everybody on PC, PS4, Xbox One, and I played it over on PC earlier today, and yeah, it's not as good as I was hoping. So with that, we gonna go ahead and discuss our opinions of the quote beta and what you should expect from the real game once it available to you, or if you want to check out the beta yourself. Marvel's Avengers start out in the same way that we have seen in E3 of the last few years, as far like the attack on the bridge and you playing at each of the Avengers between the Hulk, Thor, Black Widow, and Iron Man as you run through the paces of getting your feet wet and understanding how the combat system work here, which in return, as you find out from actually going through that segment, the combat and the gameplay is not exactly the best, but it's way more on the arcadey side and a way more on the beat 'em up side, appealed to being anything really that in depth. If the combat itself seems like it more to it than it actually is, with you having a skill tree that you can unlock new moves for your character, which most of them boil down to very situational things such as breaking shields and knocking enemies off balance. But at the same time, any getting new abilities outside of one or two of them, it don't exactly really matter since the AI of the opponents you are playing are pretty dumb, and in return, the actual feeling of doing combat and hitting the enemies are not exactly the strongest. You kind of just push buttons and things kind of die around you, or you can just one pat most of them to begin with. Because once you get a pat the opening mission and you do a small lead in with Miss Marvel and Blue Banner trying to get asset to Jarvis to get information on where all the other Avengers are at that point, since we have a 5-year gap of the Avenger being separated. But once you get through that small little segment and you realize Miss Marvel is a little bit distant, mainly with her ability to grab a hold of edges and flank off a thing and hit people more in a range, which I get to bring up talking about the character herself. Any of the combat is very similar between a light attack, heavy attack, and then a over shoulder melee attack. Any of all the techniques look different in their own ways, but once again, it still doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, a lot of it still feel the same no matter what character you playing as here. Once you get through this little piece of getting Jarvis, and you will slowly start realizing the game as of now in beta is pretty much a broken met in a lot of ways, between characters walking through environments. The areas of collision is just off, so your character can just walk through some walls, walk around stuff they obviously shouldn't be able to. And then you also get into the big part of the game outside the story stuff and the main part of the beta, which is it live service part of this, which yes, this game is a live service if you're not aware. And it pretty much broken into very similar to other live services such as Destiny, with you having a map that you select to do different strike missions. And these strike missions are mainly made up of you going in, destroying property, killing X amount of people, rescuing some people. As of now, that's pretty much about it. And if we got a handful of missions, actually more than I originally expected from the quote beta or public beta at that point. But still, it pretty much a lot of went and repeating when you doing the same few actions over and over again. And then on top of that, actually doing the missions don't actually add a whole lot, because most of these are made up you walking down a hallway, pushing a button, and then taking on the objective of destroying something or saving someone, and went and repeat. And on top of that, the fourth part of every quest is pretty much skippable if you really want to. You can just run straight to the end, hit a button, and activate the real mission you are there to do. With that being said though, you do have a reason to fight enemies, because as you fight more and more enemies, you have the possibility of getting drops upon them, and you can also level up your character. The drops itself is pretty much made up of you equipping a hand piece, an arm piece, a chest piece, and each of these having different stats, such as some give you more strength, some give you static effect. The problem here is any of the enemies are actually leveling and scaled depending on what mission you're doing, and having the bonus item to give you more stats does help. But the thing is since the AI is so dumb, all it pretty much do is help make the enemy not so bullet spongy, which in return it's just not fun, to be honest. And then on top of that, with leveling up and getting skill point that you can then invest in unlocking new abilities and moves, it one little issue here, which in return make farming the enemy to actually gain level or way less satisfying, which is, of course, you don't have a proper level. Any if you do gain the skill point, there is nowhere in the game that actually show you how much experience you need to get your next skill point. They seem to be just given out at random, which in return is kind of a little frustrating because you never truly know, are you one enemy away from getting a skill point or 100 enemy away. So in return, it just makes the combat feel any more like a drag, because at the end of the day, that's pretty much what this is a drag to just play it. Because they're not like bad by any means. The combat is functional, but at the same time, it's not anything to write home about. And in return, just come across more as just boring more than satisfying or interesting. But the thing that is quite interesting is there is a whole bunch of unlockables that you can get, such as comic books for each of the different characters. You can also unlock files to give you more backstory. And if you a Marvel fan and you can catch on to a lot of little comments here and there is a lot of little fan service stuff in here that might find some enjoyment in.
From Pepper to Tony. I know I shouldn't be freaking out right now, but I'm freaking out. Tony Stark's guitar!
And on top of that, finding the collectibles actually kind of matter because they will give you little stat bonuses the more you collect in each of the areas. But once again, it boils right back down to the problem of the game itself. It's just not all that fun as of now, because like I said, either enemy die too quickly or not put up a fight or just become a bullet sponge, and how every aspect of the game is pretty much all wrapping right back into the combat. Like I said, it just made the whole experience just tedious and boring. Hopefully they get rectified once the full release come out in a few weeks, but as of right now, the live service part of this game is not that great, to be totally honest. And honestly, like, why waste your time doing the live service stuff without the game itself just gonna get overly powerful and overly frustrating if you don't. But if that don't happen, then what really the point? Because at the end of the day, it's far more, way better live service games out there for you to play, and also way better Marvel games out there to play as well, to satisfy your need for what this game is trying to do. But with that being said, the story itself seemed fairly fascinating for the most part of coming across trying to get all the Avengers back together, figure out what exactly happened. But like I said, everything else about the game is not fun, which it kind of the saddest thing about this. It like the game itself not horrible, just not good either, and just honestly right now not really worth your time. But we will see what will happen when the game fully releases over on PS4, Xbox One, and PC later on. And also, for like live service is concerned, we do have microtransaction in this. Lucky enough, in the cold beta, they do give you a whole bunch of currency for free. Who knows if that's going to actually carry over into the main game or not. But you can indeed unlock an outfit for your characters and emotes and, you know, the normal routine here, which a lot of the outfits and whatnot do have a lot of fan service tied to them. So as of now, the only real people I can really recommend it to is maybe like super hardcore Marvel fans, and especially Marvel fans of the comic. As for everybody else that might just be trying to find a fun game to play with your friends, it might be a skip, but we will cross that bridge when the game fully released. That is my opinion of the quote beta for Marvel Avengers. Let me know in the comment below, what are your guys' opinion of the game? Did you enjoy it? Are you with me? Was it kind of there, I guess? Let me know below in the comments, and while you're down there, don't forget to like, favor, subscribe, hit some bells, you know what to do. And with that, that would do it for me.
What?